In case you guys didn't know, this is the Jabba the Hutt, Jabba's Palace panel with Steve Costantino, Femi Taylor, and Phil Philpott, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was supposed to announce them, and then you applaud just like that, which is great.
We've been doing shows since what? The first show was what? 10 years ago?
Me and you?
Yes.
The first show we did was in Nashville in
Can you
2008.
stand up and turn around and show the audience what you're wearing?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
now it's like,
Come on.
Kevin.
In lieu of-
Stand up.
Ba-ba-da.
So it says War Pigs. It's a Gamorrean Guard. It's in tribute to the Ozzy Osbourne, who passed away last month, lead singer of the greatest rock band in the history of the world, Black Sabbath. Do we all agree Black Sabbath is the greatest band ever? Absolutely, yes, it is. Anyway, so I made it for the people who work. Norse Legion is my company. This is the Black Sabbath logo, but it says Norse Legion, and I made it for the people who work at my company to wear at this convention in tribute to Ozzy. And well, go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
It's from Masters
Go
of
ahead. Tell
Reality.
them how the world revolves around Gamoria. Go.
Well, I see that image, so I feel like connected.
I'll get you one. He thinks because it's a Gamorrean Guard and he's a Gamorrean Guard. I will get you one. I
No,
promise. I
know,
just
know.
didn't plan on
I'm
it.
not saying anything.
You were upset when we were on the phone a couple nights ago.
What?
You were upset a couple nights
I
ago.
want the Gamorrean War Pigs.
Right. I will get you one. I will get you one. I'll mail it out to you next week.
For
I
the
will
public.
mail it to you.
For the public.
Okay.
Because they love them.
All right.
They sold out in 2 weeks.
Okay. This is not how I planned the panel to go.
But I said I'm going to get an AI to tell my story in a while with a hologram. That when you get into the story, because I'm so tired of hearing my story.
AI. What is that? Artificial ignorance? What is
Yeah, ignorant intelligence.
Anyway, Femi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really very well, actually.
Ladies and
Thank
gentlemen,
you.
Femi Taylor. That's how we were supposed to introduce him.
It's so lovely to be back because I was here many years ago, and I think it was Plano, Dallas. That was my first one in Dallas. I haven't been back since. I think that was 1999 or something.
It's been 25 years since 26 years since you've done a convention.
I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
So
lucky
it's
to
lovely
have
to
you.
be back. It's really lovely to be back. So thank you.
To Dallas?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm going to ask all of you guys about your participation in Star Wars. What was it like performing Oola, your famous Twilight character, the first Twilight we see? Well, I guess
Well, no,
you
I
and
was
Bib.
the first Twilight.
What's that?
I was the first Twilight.
Well, technically, there's Bib Fortuna. Bib
Oh
Fortuna.
yeah, but female.
Female.
version.
No one was drooling over Bib Fortuna, so I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Exactly. We love Mike. But playing Oola, first of all, I didn't realize the phenomenal of the character, how it would sort of breathe and live on after I stepped in and did the shoot and stepped out. And plus, back then, 1982, I don't think it was 1982, 83, my agent called me up. I'll just give you a bit of a backstory of how I got Oola. She called me up and said, there's a film there that they're doing, and we can't tell you what it is, but would you like to go in your bikini and go and meet the director, the late Richard Marquand? And, as a dancer, you just want to get prepared for what you're going to be going up for. So I went up and we had a little chat, and he just said, look, can you just walk up and down, see how you walk and move? And went, this is be ridiculous. And then he said, we're going to invite a few of you back to dance, see if you can dance. And I said, well, yeah, I can do that. I've been dancing since I was 4 years old. I'm a trained dancer. So they called me back, and we still did this really wonderful dance sequence. And I knew the choreographer, Anthony Van Last, and Richard was there, and he was there, and I was doing Cats at the time, and the choreographer afterwards, we still didn't know what it was, and then one of the dancers said, hey, what is this? And she did talk like that. What is this? What are we supposed to be doing here? And they said, it's the next Star Wars movie. She went, oh my God. So we all went, oh my, and then we didn't know who had got the part. And then I gave the choreographer a lift back to London because I had to be back at the show by 7 o'clock. And then he said, look, I don't want to say anything, but I think they're going to give you the part. And then when I got back to the stage door, I got a message from my agent to ring, and they said, they would love for you to step into the Star Wars galaxy. And welcome home, they said. So that's how I got Oola. So.
All right, Toby, how did you get the?
Well, the short version of the long version.
How about the medium? How about the medium version?
Yeah. I'd been a street performer. I had no plan to be in showbiz properly. I was a kind of a punk attitude. I just wanted to busk on the streets, and it actually started in Austin, in Texas. I was I hitchhiked around America when I was young, and I got to Austin, and on the main drag, I was selling jewelry that I'd made and stuff. But I'd learned to juggle, and somebody said to me, "That's good, that juggling." And I suddenly realised that juggling was probably more important than the handmade jewelry. I went to Mexico, and in 6 months of wandering around Mexico, I became a street performer. The reason I'm saying all that is because I had no ambition to be in show business. I simply didn't want a boss, I didn't want a job, and if I didn't speak the language, I needed a way of earning money while traveling, and street performing became it. So as well as juggling, I started walking on my hands, I made a little sock puppet and all sorts of things. When I got back to England, I'd been away for 2 years, it was much more difficult to get a job, in showbiz when all you were was just some street performing kid. So the following 7 years, I developed not only performing skills, because I learned a lot of stuff. I did mime, I did mask work, I did acrobatics and things. And I didn't know that I was preparing to work for Jim Henson, because what happened was, in my mime class, the mime teacher rang me up one day and he said, "There's an advert in the trade paper that says, for the Muppets, saying they want to do big creatures and they want dancers, acrobats, mimes, clowns to work in uncomfortable positions in big puppets." And I went, "Oh, sounds all right. Sounds my sort of thing, I had never been to auditions. I mean, auditions is a theatrical thing and you get rejected, but I was always just self-contained. But I went because my mime teacher insisted. He said, "Go for it. They don't know what they want, and you've got it." So I went there, and I was quite relaxed. I thought I was just doing a puppet workshop with Jim Henson and Frank Oz. And because they didn't know quite what they wanted, they simply got us into a room, 20 at a time. And they would have a few gloves and masks and hats and heads. And they would just get us to improvise as a team, as a gang. Like, be a sleeping creature, wake up, look around, and walk away. So we were just making stuff up. There were no costumes ready, made or anything. And they were looking for attitude, ability, team player, taking direction. And I just felt relaxed. I thought, if nothing else, I'm doing a workshop with these geniuses. And, if I don't get the job, I don't get a job, don't care. But it slowly went down from, the first 50 down to 20 and then down to 10. And they said, "Okay, you 10, you will be working on the film. Right now, we need 4 of you to do pre-production while they're still developing costumes. And the other 6 will come back in the spring." So, as I say, it turns into a long story. But
Very long.
Oh, no, it's a good
I'm kidding. Go on.
But I ended up in the 4. Then I had a back injury, and so I dropped out, and Simon Williamson took over. But I came back in the spring, and there were a team of 10 of us, basically, doing the Gartham, the Mystics, and all that. But we were also learning puppets, to do background puppets and things. And I was put on Jim Henson's team, which means that if he was doing the head with his right hand and he was operating the left hand, I'd be in his armpit doing the right hand. So I literally was hanging out with Jim every day while he's doing this stuff. Now, you can imagine that's a 5-month film. I'm literally filming from day one. Normally on films, you do 2 weeks' work, you don't really know what you've contributed, and you walk away. I had a 5-month education in film puppetry. Okay, so that's where I am. The next film into the studio was called Blue Harvest. Well, it was actually Revenge of the Jedi, which was eventually Return. But we didn't know that. It was very, very secretive. However, a lot of the crew moved over from Dark Crystal onto that film, both builders, operators, and so on, because George Lucas and Frank had already done Yoda, for instance. And Jim was showing what you could do with animatronic puppets. So literally, Jabba was built by the same kind of people that had done Dark Crystal. And I didn't even audition for it. I didn't have to prove myself. I got called into the office. They said, you've been doing work for Jim, for big creatures. We've got a big creature for this new film. Do you want to do it? I assumed it was another background character. I had no idea Jabba was going to do scenes with everybody. I mean, we actually act with everybody. Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, you know, Chewbacca, C-3PO. We do scenes with all of them. And I had
So like that pulling of the chain, when you're pulling, is that you pulling the chain for Carrie Fisher's?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I'm basically, it's a two-man submarine. I'm basically sitting inside, I'm doing the left hand, I'm moving the head around, and I'm doing the tongue when it's licking the lips.
So you, with a left hand, that pushed the button that put Femi into the hole.
Yes.
So you push a button.
Pow.
You're the one who pushed the button.
Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either.
No, although, to be absolutely honest, that's a pickup shot, and that is not me hitting that button.
Well, why'd you have to ruin it? Why'd you have to ruin it? Everyone was so excited.
because
I was going to have you reenact it. We were going to throw Femi in the audience, and you ruined it.
I want to see that.
Film is an illusion, okay? In Jabba's hookah pipe, there's a real frog from the zoo, a really big frog or toad or something, and it was alive. The frog that we eat is a rubber frog, which they handed it to me, and I had to bring it up and put it in the mouth, and Dave would chew. In the film, the Klaatuin paddy frog that you see is a pickup. Again, it was added later. It doesn't even match. The one I've got, it looks like a frog. The close-up that you briefly see the hand going in is a special little paddy frog, right? But no one notices it. Well, I've told you now. You'll notice.
Now we're going to have to all go back and look.
But, you know, film is an illusion, essentially. So you never know what you've contributed. Poor old Dave, for instance, because he's doing the right hand and the mouth, he did all the dialogue in English. We had scripts in English. So we're actually acting with all these people. And then when we go to the crew showing a year later, they've dubbed Larry Ward's voice on, they've added all the squelches, and Dave's performance disappeared, or most of his work, you know, had disappeared. But that's filmed. It's an illusion. It's a very clever illusion, but it's an illusion.
Yeah, when Jabba's smoking his pipe, they had somebody underneath Jabba with a cigar. He just sat there with a cigar.
Yeah, one of the builders.
What a great job that would have been. I would have loved that.
Richard Pabry is under the stage. He's in the making of. You'll see him. He's sitting there with a cigar and a rubber tube. There's no smoke machine or anything. He's literally blowing smoke up a pipe. And he says in that thing, if I had a glass of port, this would be the perfect job. But by the end of the day, he was green. Can you imagine smoking a cigar all day?
Well,
all day.
I make the attempt. Stephen, what's your story, your journey to Star Wars?
Story is kismet, and definitely gives hope. You never know. I had a band with, my sensei at the time, martial arts. He said you have to meet one of my best students, Corey D. Williams. He plays bass, and both from the East Coast, and a lot of diversity in music styles. And next thing I know, I'm up at the house. He's living with Billy D. and his dad, and we started playing, and that was it. It was on. And it was exciting because Billy D. had a lot of great people going through there at the time, and we were the entertainment. In the studio, people would come in, Martha Reeves, Redeemed Wife, Merton, all kinds of people. So we always done our best. And Corey had stood in for his dad. If you've seen pictures of Corey, he looks just like Billy, a young version. Yeah. And Billy came in and said, Corey, would you want to stand in for this thing, this Star Wars thing? Because he had done Empire, but I don't think they had a name then, Blue Harvest or anything at that time. Yeah. And he said, where? He goes, Yuma, Arizona. It's April now. And he's going, and Corey's not really, he's more of a musician. And he said, really? It's going to be so hot there, isn't it? And we're doing music, and we're in an air-conditioned studio. And then Billy looks at me, he goes, you want to go bring the guitar with you and, keep him happy?
So he told Corey you could bring your little friend?
You go bring the bass and a little amp, and I'd bring the guitar. And I wind up in Yuma, Arizona, and it was a Sunday, so everyone was off. We haven't got out to the set yet. And we started playing that night, and everybody's dancing, Princess Leia, Carrie, and I said, this is surreal, absurd. This is unbelievable. And I'm here playing music. And people were loving it. We had a buzz going, and then we drive out to the desert the next day, the Sarlacc pit and the Jabbas barge, and the sand was not going to listen, kept blowing off. So it was a lot of.
Now, how hot was it? Was it hotter than it is here?
The welcoming letter says, "Welcome to Arizona. welcome to Yuma, 120 degrees dry heat. They emphasize dry heat.
Yeah.
So I guess no humidity.
So as long as you're drinking a lot of water,
Yeah,
you're going to be
yeah.
okay.
Well, we had to cover our face because of sandstorms. You know, this was fine sand. It was more like Saharas or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't like Palm Springs with cactus and rocks. And so, but after 12-hour days, I'm having a wonderful time, great stories, and just loving it. But I want to kind of have a job. I feel restless. How do I ask for a job because I'm a guest of Billy's? I don't want to insult him in any way. But then Howard Gazanjian says, let's go to dinner to Billy, who's the producer. And Billy goes, you guys want to take along? We said, okay. And I said, oh, this is, if any time I could ask for maybe to help out, this would be it. And so I said to Howard, listen, I'll work for free. Can I come in tomorrow and do anything for you? I mean, I didn't expect to be a character because they had scorpion cleanup in the morning in Yuma under the set. They would have buckets.
Wait.
They had a
What?
scorpion. The first thing they had to do is clean the scorpions out under the sets. They were all over the place.
Like where the sail barge was and all that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, underneath all the facade.
And you wanted that job?
No, I said, well,
Oh.
I'm thinking if I get the lowest job they have, that would be it.
Okay.
But I would do it. Something to do. And he was laughing. So he goes, no, I have something in mind. We go in the next day. They make Corey Klaatu and me the Gamorrean Guard. And as soon as they put the outfit on me, which it wasn't many pieces, it was the feet, the hands, the top, the bottom, which was real heavy. I was like Humpty Dumpty in that sense. And the head. And no peripheral vision. And I said, I don't know where the cameras are, what I'm doing, what the scene, what pertains to the scene. And they said, well, just there's footsteps drawn on the bars. Just follow those footsteps. So I could see that. And then next thing, Mark comes out, Luke Skywalker with the handle. I don't know what that means either later. You know,
How familiar were you with Star Wars at that point?
I've seen Star Wars when it came out in New York and then Empire, of course.
Right.
So I knew there was a saber, but you don't see that part, what's going to happen.
Okay.
And so we go through the moves. He cuts me in half, what have you. And, I did a scene with Mark. That's pretty cool. And he was fabulous to us. Corey and I made us really feel welcome. And the great thing, Billy D took a bunch of pictures of us with the mask off, which no one was allowed. You know, we didn't have cameras. And if you did, you'd probably take them. So Billy took these pictures.
It was a lot easier back then to forbid people from using cameras than
35
today.
millimeter. Then I had my Polaroid, which I hid, and I was kind of green. I was trying to stay out of the way, the whole thing, the monolith, I call it. And I was with Mark in a trailer one day. He's like in his robe, you know, Speedos. He liked to wear little Speedos. And he goes, take a picture. And that picture's classic now. I mean, I had no idea what the value and what it would mean now at this point. But those other pictures got put in the archives, and then 15, 20 years later, it shows up at Dragon Con because Billy's appearance manager says, what is this? Who's this, Corey? And who's this other guy? And it went up online, and they said, all these people wrote to me, do you sign autographs? I said, well, my scene's about 2 minutes, and, you know, it's an indelible memory. But aside from that, I never thought about it, but I would, you know, entertain that thought.
Well, here you are now.
Then in England, Star Wars Fun Fan Day, they sent me 60 items with a check, and as a musician, bing, the light went off.
Yeah.
I said, wow, okay. And I went back, and then they go, he has beautiful handwriting. He really takes his time. I have my mom's handwriting. I'm a songwriter. I was writing pen. And they put it on about my handwriting. It went viral with them. The next thing I know, I'm in England, in Burnley, Manchester, doing a show at the soccer stadium, playing with Blues Harvest, who's a band that does parodies. And that was it. And I get back, and Corey goes, I think we need to go out, dude. Tell a story. And so those 5 years with Billy and Corey was beautiful because in Corey, in our case, it gave a lot of hope to people that you can be doing anything. And if you're passionate and work hard, you never know what's going to happen, you know, because I couldn't plan it. And now, with all this content coming out, Mandalorian, which is infinite, I guess, in Disney, it's just amazing what that means now, the trilogy, and those pictures, what they mean.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful and thankful to be here. Love the fans. I mean, traveling is a these days, but, you know, you get adamant, but every time I come to the show, I go back fulfilled and thankful. So thank you, guys.
So Toby, were you given any kind of backstory about Jabba the Hutt or anything? Like, what did you go into with that when you started the character? What did you learn?
No, they didn't tell us very much at all. I mean, first of all, they were building him, and he had been mentioned in what we now call New Hope, but no one had really conceived of him. It was very, very secret. I mean, I used to see him in the workshop. We used to go in and get fittings and things, but we weren't told anything about the character. We didn't get the whole script. We got given our pages with our words on, but we had no backstory. We had no context, and the sculpt is so good. John Coppinger, who Phil Tippett designed it, but John Coppinger and Stuart Freeborn built him, and the character was so powerful. Just sitting on the set, if you went in the set in the morning and just saw him, he had a lot of presence. John Coppinger tells a story that because he used to do radio control for the eyes, so every morning he would put fresh batteries in so that it didn't fail during shooting. And he said he would go on the set, there were no big lights or anything at that point, just him alone on the set, and he would put the new batteries in and then open the eyes to test it. And it used to make him jump every time that Jabba opened his eyes and looked around. That's how real he seemed. So you imagine acting with him when all the lighting is going on and we're animating him. But to me, the character came from the sculpt. It's the way he looks. Our job is to bring him to life, but there's not much you can do. You're waving your arms around, you're moving the eyes about and so on. So yes, we're animating him, but we didn't really know, apart from the fact that he was, well, I was going to say a baddie, but he's not evil. He's not like the Emperor or Darth Vader. He's a pirate. He's having fun. He's like Han Solo. He goes to the highest bidder. He's having a party. He's got dancing girls. He's smoking a pipe. He's smoking, drugs in a pipe. He's killing people. People want to be Jabba the Hutt. That's a party. Nobody wants to be the Emperor, do you? I mean, no sensible person wants to be evil. But it looks like he's having fun. I mean, So we thought of it as a comedy villain, if you want. So to be relishing his life, having a lot of dancing girls, all that. So, but we didn't really have a backstory. We didn't know anything about what Hutts were. We didn't even know about Huttese. I mean, we were acting in English. They wanted a really alien character. Most aliens back then were humans with funny heads. If you think about it, Star Trek, Red Dwarf, anything. And doing Dark Crystal, we'd got into this thing about making creatures that didn't look like humans, that you couldn't even see where the human was, by distorting our bodies and working in weird positions. And I think that carried over. Hence, they even dubbed the voice and put Huttese on it, which was, I think, an afterthought. Because in a popular film, why do you do subtitles? You don't normally put subtitles in a popular film. But, Jabba is genuinely alien. I mean, he's actually very weird indeed. And that's all we knew. I mean, apart from the fact that he's a baddie and he kills people and he kidnaps people and all that, that's all we knew. Now, he's got children and cousins and brothers. But to me, Jabba the Hutt was a unique creature. He wasn't a species. I mean, as I say, now we think of him as a part of a species. But it's not the way we thought he was a unique being.
No, and that's right. He's got family now. His son is going to be in the new Mandalorian movie. That's not a secret. That's already been released by Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
But Femi, can I give a similar question to you? Did they give you any kind of backstory or anything?
Exactly the same.
Yes.
We had no backstory. We had no scripts. We weren't allowed to talk about it. And back in those days, we didn't have social media either, so there wasn't that kind of leakage. But, even when I was choreographed, when it was being choreographed, Oola, she couldn't really give me that much. So it was quite hard to sort of conjure up what I was trying to emulate with the character. But then through the choreography, I felt that I could become Oola, the sort of, captured slave alien Twi'lek who didn't want to be there and was sort of by Bib Fortuna.
No, I just want to know. I notice you say Twi'lek.
Yeah,
There's two ways to say it. But I mean, you saying that it's Twi'lek is pretty important because you were the, like I said, the first major one that we saw. So you say Twi'lek, not Twi'lek.
I always say Twi'lek.
Twi'lek.
Maybe
Where
it's
are
my
we all? Who says
maybe it's-
Twi'lek?
Maybe it's my British accent.
So
I don't say Twi'lek
who
at
says
all.
Twi'lek? So it looks like
say
Twi'lek gets a little more.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what we're talking about? No. I didn't think so.
He's going with Twi'lek.
That's her
It's
character's.
green Twi'lek.
Having said that, I mean,
Oola, her character, her species is Twi'lek. I say Twi'lek.
Do you say Twi'lek?
And the fact that you say Twi'lek, I feel it makes me feel
well,
better.
I just see how
What?
it's spelled. Yeah. I think it sounds better.
It's
anyway.
TWI''LEK.
Yeah.
and a lot of these names have been invented afterwards. I mean, I know a lot of the
true.
background actors like Tim Dryan and Sean Crawford and people. They're all entourage in Jabba's palace. They didn't have names back then.
That's
There
true.
were 9 mime guys, and they would come in, get in costumes, be a Gamorrean guard. Tomorrow, you're Yak. Now it's Yak Face, and there's things.
Yeah, Sean Crawford, he's a great guy. I
Yeah.
love him. He's a good
But
friend of mine.
A lot of those names have been
Weren't
added
there
added
in the
later.
beginning.
They
Yeah.
weren't there in
Yeah.
on our set. They were nicknames to identify costumes, but now they've all got backstories. I mean, you
All
know,
got backstory.
yeah.
Oh, sure. Now, did you two ever meet on the set, or is it because you're inside that costume you never see each
Not
other?
a lot.
We didn't, did we?
No.
But then, well, who nearly strangled me? One of you nearly strangled
Well,
me.
yeah. I mean, basically,
That's
what
amazing.
happened was we would climb inside every day in the morning, and we wouldn't really come out. So we'd talk to the set like Jabba. The only times we went out were, for instance, if we've got her on a chain, we would go out and say, "Listen, you know, we're going to pull the chain.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, we need to just check that we're not going to hurt you or hinder you." And we would just do a little bit. So we met like that, just
Yeah.
very, very briefly as a technical problem. And then we would go back inside and try and do it for real.
But then you had little TV monitor, black
Yeah.
and white,
Yeah.
which wasn't quite poor in sort of.
No, well, we could.
But I can't.
Yeah, what happened when we worked on Dark Crystal, because Jim had been doing television, if you watch the Muppets, most of the Muppet performers have a monitor so they can see what the camera is doing. So you know if you're in close up, you know if you're out in the left corner, you can avoid going out of frame and all that sort of stuff. So his way of filming meant that as far as possible, they would show you what you were doing. I mean, you'd be puppeteering and you'd be looking at a monitor. Now, that didn't work for the big creatures. The big creatures, we had to work blind because there weren't little tiny cameras like there are now. However, when we went onto a Star Wars set, and there's 100 people there, I mean, I think one of my call sheets says 150 people. You've got to remember it's not just costumes and puppeteers, makeup artists, nurse, firemen, lighting guys, carpenters, electricians. I mean, every single creature had to have an assistant to take their head off and blow cold air in. So every creature you see has another person, a dresser for them, and people doing hair for character. Anyway, so, you know, there's hundreds of people on the set, and it's really, really busy. They're not going to worry about whether the puppeteers can see what they're doing. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? And we went, well, how are we supposed to do it? Like, you know, so they put a camera up in the ceiling, like a security camera, and we had hanging around our necks big old monitors with a 4-inch black and white fuzzy screen, which just showed us. It showed Jabba. We had no idea of what the other actors were doing. We couldn't see whether it was a close-up or a wide shot. So we were working virtually blind. So you can imagine if she was dancing over there, we're not seeing the dance. We can't judge whether to keep the chain tight or. So nearly working blind, basically.
Yeah, but
so
you
we
did-
had to go out and talk to you.
Yeah, but you did a good job there. There was a couple of times
Yeah.
you did a phenomenal job in terms of the amount of dancing that I had to do,
Well,
and all
yeah.
the twists and turns and everything. So
Well, you did most. If we weren't in the same shot, if it was a close-up of her dancing, then they could simply have an assistant standing there managing the chain. It wouldn't be us. Why would we do it when we can't see what we're doing? I've got at least one photo somewhere where you can see it's just a guy outside of Jabba. Yeah,
I'm
there's-
hearing so many things I haven't heard.
there's just a because it's a cheat. It's an illusion. You know, it's a movie, and you do what you do what you need to do to get that shot in the can, and then it's done. It's not like doing a live stage show where you've got to be able to do it every time. You just got to get it right once.
Yeah.
And we know with Carrie, she was on the chain at some point. We went out to talk to her, and said, you know, we don't want to hurt you or anything. We can hardly see what we're doing. We've got these big gloves on and things. And she went, no, please give me some tension because I need to fight against it. You know, I will let you know if it hurts or it's damaged. I mean, hers wasn't so bad because she was sitting, not dancing about. But yeah, no, her attitude was, please give me something to act with. Don't be timid about it. And, you know, I'd have to put the microphone down, but the hands couldn't reach each other. I couldn't actually shake hands with Dave. So to do a chain, for instance, I'll show you. We went, we can't, we can have to... You know, we'd go outside and we'd work on it and do that sort of thing, and then go in and try and do it inside.
When you go inside, when you say inside, is it like something you have to put up behind? Like you sit down somewhere and they bring it down on you, or do you do you go into a door?
What is it? The set was off the floor because there was obviously the rancor pit, so, and we anyway tend to build puppet stages up so that puppeteers can hide underneath and come up through a hole in the ground. So Jabba is about 8 feet off the floor or something like that, and we would climb up a ladder inside him. Then I sit on a little chair so I can swing the body about on a revolve and put my arm out and they put the sleeve on and then I'm kind of stuck like that. And Dave would climb up behind me, put a board in and he would stand and do the right hand. So we're kind of inside a cave, inside a hard shell. You know, there's no air conditioning or anything, but it was tight, but it wasn't uncomfortable. Not like wearing a costume. I was in street clothes. I just get to work, climb inside, start working. You know, so that was very different from being a Gamorrean Guard or Bib Fortuna was in makeup for 3 hours.
I was in for 4 hours.
Oh, there you go. I mean, they were coming into the studio.
You know why? It's because you had to be painted. That must have been.
3 or 4 layers.
Yeah. So we had a soft job, really. We would just turn up, climb inside, and start.
And now, Stephen, your makeup, it was just a little around the eyes, put the helmet on, and you're done. And you're good to go. How long did it take to put that costume on?
The whole outfit?
Yeah.
I have pictures of me just laying on the ground. You get a real perspective of what.
You might.
I have pictures of it.
You're a musician. You've been on stage more than anybody else here.
I know.
And you didn't really...
You're right. I have a picture of it just laying on the ground on the barge, and you get real perspective of what it looks like. It looks like a big baby diaper at the bottom, you know.
Yeah.
Because when I would hold it to go pee, you know, because it was a project if I'd do that, and I took the top off so they would have to hold me up because it was so bottom heavy,
Right.
you know, and the hands are big in the feet, so it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 parts. That's it.
Imagine that.
And the makeup, they said, must have took a long time for makeup. I said, no, it's just a
Yeah,
circle
just-
around my eyes, yeah.
It's the same thing. Peter Mayhew said that. It's
I
just
mean, did you wash the paint off every day? You had
Yeah,
to,
absolutely. 13 showers. It was a pain.
Did you say 13 showers?
13 showers, because they had to do about 3 layers because of my dark skin. And these
Oh,
little
my
pops, and they just, it was a nightmare.
oil base? No, couldn't be.
No,
No.
it wasn't. No.
Oh, my
But
God.
it was a nightmare.
And you had to do it again 16 years later.
Yes, and oh my.
Well,
and I
13
thought,
years.
Yes, and I thought, yes, I will do it. Well, after I passed, when they wanted, because it was 16 years later, they said one thing is you had to fit in your original costume, and I went, here we go, because otherwise they would have CGI'd me, and back then I was like 35, and I hadn't had my boys, and it was okay, except when I saw the donuts in the corner. And I I'm not allowed to do it. But anyway, when I knew I was going back to shoot it, I thought, they will spray me, which would be great. No, it was little pots, because they had to match it up to the original. And so, yes, it took like 4 hours. So 4 o'clock in the morning, I had to be on.
Yeah, when it came out in '97, and I saw it, I just assumed yours was a deleted scene we hadn't seen before.
No.
I had no idea you refilmed that
No, we
because it's seamless.
Yeah, but-
You didn't age at all. It's a compliment, Femi.
Thank you
Say
so
thank you.
much. No, thank you so much. Because I was like, but what was I? I going to say? I've lost my chain of thought here.
Shop
Yes.
at NorseLegionStore.com is what you were going to... I'm kidding. That's
No. What I was going to say is that wasn't originally, when I went back, they weren't going to put that scene in, my death scene. And it was Rick McCullum who said to George, hey, why don't we just see if the finality of Femi going down into the pit? And George went, oh, that's a good idea. So I stayed for an extra 4 days when they built the set. But that wasn't in originally. Originally, they just got me over. I was sort of turning around like an idiot in front of the camp because they didn't know what to do with me. And then they wanted me to struggle with the green screen. And I thought, God, it took you six months to find me, and then all you wanted me to do. Anyway, so it was great that they came up with that idea to see me go into the Rancor pit and but that wasn't scripted at all. So that was wonderful.
And speaking of scripted, when I was going to say Jabba, but when Toby was pulling you and you say something to Jabba, what your character does say something. Oh my God, do it again.
No. Yeah, it's like, please don't.
It's a song.
Is that what you think it is? Please don't hurt me.
Well, that was my thought process. Originally when I did it, that was my thought, because I'm screaming and going, yeah, and the boob falls out and carry on, and yeah. So
I missed that one.
apparently.
I didn't know you still.
But originally I did the lines, but then when you do the special edition, you don't see that. They cut that out.
Is that cut out for the special edition?
They cut that out, and then they see me coming down into the pit.
Oh my goodness! So a lot of the people in the audience, younger people, never saw that one I'm talking about. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame! It's a great scene, and you had like dialogue.
I did originally.
You had more dialogue than Boba Fett has. Think about it. His sentences are very short.
Yeah,
you know?
but he the way he delivers them are fantastic. I love Mike and as Bib Fortuna. Yes, he's brilliant.
Okay, one question I like to ask, because obviously us in the audience, our favorite movie is one of the Star Wars films, but I always like to know what your guys' favorite films are. And I know Femi's struggling with it because she can't pick one.
Well, actually, when you are,
I'm gonna let him go first to help you. I'll break the ice here.
It's okay. You can ask me.
Films or Star Wars? Star Wars films or films?
No, films in general. It could be a Star Wars film if your favorite film.
Well, there's a lot of genres.
But just if you had to pick a favorite movie, what would you pick?
One? It's like a favorite band. Oh,
Both
man.
of you, the two of you.
I mean,
I bet Toby will give me
I
an
can go
answer.
to Lawrence of Arabia, and then I can go to Godfather 1 and 2. You know,
Godfather's great.
it's like the genre is important because that's what film.
All right, you guys aren't playing the game right.
Okay.
All right, Femi, come on.
Lawrence of Arabia.
How about this?
Look,
How about this,
you know
Femi? How about an
what?
honorable mention?
I love Lord of the Rings, but the last film I saw was Dead Reckoning, and I think it's amazing that Tom Cruise does all those stunts. Extraordinary. And so I just sort of admire that, just to be watching the action.
Okay.
But there's so many films I love, and it depends what.
I thought Lord of the Rings was a better answer.
Lord of the Rings. Well,
That's a
Lord
great
of the Rings
movie.
is fantastic, but Dead Reckoning, I just think, you what? Oh my God, the poor mum. Oh my gosh, did you tell her you're going to do the stunt? But yeah.
Do you have a favorite Lord of the Rings character? No, I'm asking you again. I just want to see your Lord of the Rings. How much do you like it? Do you have a favorite character?
No, I just love the whole film.
You love all of it.
Yes,
You love
the whole thing. I think it was very clever.
No, I think it's a great film. Peter Jackson did a fantastic, and we have a new movie coming out in a year or two with Aragorn or whatever. But Toby, you got a favorite film?
Well, yeah, I don't have one favorite film because it depends.
Three of you. You know, the last panel, they all answered it with no problem.
Well, no. If you said a film that you're going to watch over and over again, I'd say Blues Brothers.
Oh yeah, that's a great.
great
Blues.
choice.
Blues Brothers.
Wait,
is wonderful.
what movie?
Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers. Okay.
Oh, I love the Blues Brothers.
But if I was doing an art cinema one, I would say the Russian Solaris or Wings of Desire. Sorry,
Now, welcome to Whoop Whoop.
that's the kind of stuff I do. Trading Places. I mean, do you want a comedy or do you want?
Yeah, it just
but
depends. doesn't
If
it?
I had to watch something now, I'd watch the Blues Brothers again. I've seen it so many times. Just
Well, Carrie
brilliant.
Fisher's in the Blues Brothers.
Is
too.
she?
and
Oh, yes, of course she is.
She's the
Of course
girlfriend.
she is.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course
Goes, honey,
she is.
and he drops her.
Yes, yeah.
I am never bored by that movie ever.
Well, Trading Places, I think, is brilliant.
Message.
What about yours, Kevin? What's
What
your
about my favorite movie?
Yeah.
It's obviously Star Wars.
Okay.
A New
Which
Hope,
one?
the first one.
The New Hope, yeah.
Oh, the first one. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. The first three are my favorites. I just hold up four
I
fingers.
love
I don't know why I did
Empire
that.
Strikes. I do love
5,
it.
6, and 7. What is it? In the
3, 4. No.
3, 4.
4, 5, and 6. 4,
4, 5, and
5,
6.
Yeah.
4, 5, and 6.
But really, 1, 2, 3.
The one you were in is up there.
Yeah, I know, but
What is that humming sound? Are we trying to like
that's
call
a
Superman or
reflection of
something?
the back of reverb.
What's that?
I keep hearing slapback.
Is it because of the mic?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, that sounds like a good time to end it, but because
Slapback?
they're giving me the cut. It's been 45 minutes. But so all three of you are going to be in the autograph wall for the rest of the weekend, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So guys, everyone, make sure to come by and see them. And we got Andy Seacombe Sebulba coming up in a minute. Not Sebulba, Watto. Andy Seacombe Watto. Sorry, I'm tired. But I want to thank you three for coming. So everybody, let's a round of applause and come by and see him this weekend.
Thank you, guys.
And big thank you to Kevin as well. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Femi. That was very nice.